did I ever tell you I went to the dentist maybe about a year ago, and he was like, I told him, I'm an artist, blah blah blah, and he goes, "Oh, you're an artist." He goes, "Do you like Luke Chueh?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "He's my favorite artist." But it was after we hung out for like the first time we talked for a little bit at Dove's house after DKE Con, and like. I feel like I totally got like street cred with my dentist.
With your dentist,
because he's like, he's like,
I know Luke Chueh.
He's like, "Do you know Luke
Can I get
Chueh?"
a free filling?
I just hung out with him.
We all have to keep a Luke Chueh story in our pocket so we can impress people.
Impress the dentists.
Yeah. Mine is that time Luke Chueh and I thought we might get shot at Comic-Con.
You should try and
Did that happen?
you should try and
Remember when the alarms went off and we were like, "Oh shit, is there a mass shooter? If we're gonna die, we're gonna die together in the
That's
DKE."
right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That was great.
Hey everybody, welcome to DKE Toys TV. This is episode 5. I am the avatar of Dove. See me? I heard Jim Carrey on this interview on Instagram, and he said Ace Ventura, and he named all his characters, and he said, and Jim Carrey. He's like, these are all fictions. And I was like, what? And it sort of broke my brain. And then I thought to myself that all of this garbage that we create on YouTube for the millions and millions of hours that are just being uploaded to YouTube every day, like it's going to be there forever unless there's a solar whatever, or, some hard drives crash or YouTube goes out of business overnight without backing up or something, some tragedy. Like, our great grandchildren could be going back and the AI is going to be able to print all the dialogue of all the garbage we've ever said. It is all going to be indexed. And so all that porn you did, Scott Cherry, when you were too young to talk about it, like your great grandchildren are going to be able to see it.
That's why I'm praying for
Janky
a
has his
catastrophe.
Janky have work cut out for you, right? Like
totally.
all this editing.
This intro, jeez.
Dove Rant.
So our special guest today is Luke Chueh. Say hi,
Hi,
everybody.
I'm Luke Chueh. How's it going? I'm Luke Chueh.
And we have our guest host today. So our regular co-host is Scott Cherry, also known as Barbarian Rage, and Janky, also known as Janky Toys, or Chris Ryder, or
Dude,
whatever you want to call
that guy.
So Luke, how you been? What are you doing?
I'm good. I'm working on my next solo show, and you can see a little clip of it right there. And
when is the next solo show?
It's in August. So
and where's it?
Kind of like it's at Corey Helford at in Gallery 2, the usual spot I do, and I think it's closer to the end of August. So at least I hope it is.
You have 4 months, right?
Yeah, about 4 months. Three and a half months.
Look, it sounds like a lot of time, but
it's not.
It's not.
It's not. I'm freaking out right now.
Artwork, yeah, it's a lot of work to do a solo show. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got to finish 20 paintings. It's you're not going to be seeing much of me. So
how many have you finished?
1.
Let's
not talk about that.
Yes.
One's almost done.
Yeah.
Is that really the first one?
That's the first one.
That's
a
pretty good start. If that's the launching pad, then I think
that's
you're
when
in good shape.
You go to his shows and you walk in and there's like 2 huge paintings, and then the other 18 are like that big. It just slowly gets smaller. 18, 19, 20.
It's good to have a centerpiece, and I'm working on my centerpieces right now. They're the more complicated paintings, and then everything else kind of, fits in to, like take up space around those two paintings.
That should be the name of the show. Luke Chueh takes up space.
yes, basically. But no, I'm like got 5 paintings going right now. So and they're on various states of accomplishment. So
Awesome.
but yeah, that's what I'm up to.
Nice. When was your last Corey Helford show?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Wow.
Yeah, 2021.
And have you had any gallery shows in between?
Yeah, I had a show at Dorothy Circus in Rome and at Fine Art Gallery in Melbourne, which I'm actually have scheduled for next year again. And then
it's amazing.
Yeah.
So you're busy, is what you're saying.
I'm doing my best. So
and do you get to go to the shows too? Do you go to Australia?
I went to Rome last year. It was my first time in like Europe proper.
Wow.
Because like London is not like technically Europe, right?
It's not. It is.
I mean, like I would think Europeans wouldn't think it was, and I don't think British people think they're part of the.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about what Europeans think.
So you ship all those paintings over?
Yes, he does.
Like in a big giant crate. Wow.
Or it like with a ton of bubble wrap and a lot of cardboard boxes. So because I'm cheap, unless the gallery is willing to pay for the shipping.
Yeah. I was gonna say the shipping is
you're throwing it. You're throwing like $1,000 to $1,500 in shipping. And hoping that you'll sell something.
Gallery pay for shipping?
Not always. Some do, like the good ones do, but most of them don't.
Is that part of like your negotiation? Can you demand payment for shipping?
It's definitely one of the things that I've been like kind of trying to work into there, but sometimes it depends. Like when like a gallery, like when you see like the kind of like the price range that galleries are selling work at, you kind of know that like they're hanging in there, and you don't want to like be too big of a bother.
Sure.
So
and bilk them out of some shipping money.
And then if there's unsold pieces, do you have to pay to ship those back? And there's not very often to.
No, they have to ship them. If I'm going to pay to ship there, they're going to pay to ship back. So
got it. So the burden's on them to like move them to not have to pay to get them back.
Right. But ideally they should, be paying for the shipping, since like they're taking 50% of a sale. Do
you have a spreadsheet where you have a list of all the paintings and the galleries that they're at, like all over the world?
Well, the all over the world thing is kind of a recent development, a more recent development.
You've told me, you've been showing in galleries. That's not my imagination. I mean, was that your first at Dorothy Circus?
Yeah, that was my first in Dorothy Circus, and my first in Australia. I've done some shows in Asia and stuff like that, and I'm usually keep track of those paintings, and then like after a year I'll demand them the unsold work to be returned. So I've got like a small pile of unsold work, somewhere. Most of them are really like horrendous because I basically was phoning it in, I guess, to a certain degree.
It was piece 18 and 19 is.
Well, the piece 18 and 19 are usually the more interesting ones in my eyes, because by then I'm like so sick of my own work that I'm just kind of like, I'm gonna fucking do something else.
And do you find that the pieces that don't sell, you end up hating more than the pieces that do sell?
Absolutely. Absolutely. They're like the problem child, from my loins. So it's like I look at them and I'm like, You should have been aborted.
We have this figure on the website right now that people can buy that is not sold out. How do you feel about this figure, Luke?
It's fucking terrible. It's a failure.
It is not. It's amazing.
It is.
It is amazing. That artwork that was created by, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. It was a guy that you hooked us up with, Dove.
Seth Relentless.
Yeah.
Yeah, Seth, amazing. He just hit it out of the park. He knew exactly what I wanted.
Because I asked Luke, so Luke found this painting of St. Luke.
St. Luke. Yeah.
And he's like, put my head on there, and he sent a photo, and then I was like, Luke, aren't you gonna paint yourself and do it? And he's like, I'm like, all right, I'll find someone to do it. And I know that, like, as far as digital painting goes, like if you look at Seth Relentless's figures, like he always does those paintings. They're amazing. And I was like, hey, can you do a Luke Chueh head? And he's like, yeah. And there you go. And then
I sent him
Luke
some selfies, and
here's the back of it. It's a edition of 75. They're $75, and it comes with this G clay print. It's a signed.
Yeah, comes with a little mini signed print.
The smallest Luke Chueh G clay print in the world.
Exactly, and they're not going to get any smaller than that.
He's like, that's the last small print I ever do. But I love the back that you designed also.
Yeah. I basically just searched all over the internet for the back of canvases. Found one that worked. And I was like, "That's it. You're the back of the card." Well, it had to look old. It had to have that antique look to it.
Yeah.
And for my actual paintings, I do sign them kind of like that, like on the upper left-hand corner. I just sign the back. Nice. But no, and concerning my unsold pieces, I don't usually hate them. I do wonder to myself what I did wrong, but
I go through a period of hating the things that don't sell, and I throw it away. I put it in storage, and I just hate it. And then like a couple of years later, I'll come back and I'll stumble on it or whatever, and I'll look at it and I'll go, you know what? It is really, it turned out good. And then I don't, I like it just because it didn't sell. I don't have that thing on me where it's like, this didn't turn into money immediately, so I hate it. But after a while, I can go back and look at something and go, I did a good job. It just,
I think
it just didn't connect,
Well, you when you're working on paintings, you get too close to it. Get so close to it that you begin to you don't see the quote unquote problems. Like maybe there's an issue with perspective, maybe there's an issue with contrast, maybe there's an issue with whatever. And when it doesn't sell, you're stuck asking yourself, like, what am I missing? Because obviously everybody else sees it except for me. Yeah. And I find myself kind of wondering, like, okay, well, I fucked up somewhere. And
I think the most difficult part is actually getting honest feedback, right? Because so many people, you don't get honest feedback. You get people who are insanely jealous and want to tear you down. And then all these other people that want to stroke you and be like, oh yeah, it's amazing. And then you're like, thank you. Yeah. But, could you tell me?
That's not what I was looking for. Yeah. Right. And,
yeah.
There's only a handful of people that I will say, look, man, this thing is fucked up. You need to fix this. And there's only a few people that I trust to give me feedback, or trust to actually say, like, Scott, this doesn't look good. You need to redo the whole thing.
I think Janky does that for you all the time.
Yeah, that's
Janky is one of those people. He is one of
God, this is terrible. Quit. God damn it.
But it's hard. That's hard because, if I look at something and go, look, man, I can't say whether it's good or bad. It's not for me, I've said about stuff, I go, yeah, I don't like it. And then it grows on me, and then I go, wow, that's like my favorite thing that guy's ever done now.
Yeah.
So,
But I mean, you have to have like a personal relationship with those people you trust well enough to know that when I say this isn't right, it's not going to hurt your feelings. We're not going to have like a fallout. Your ego isn't going to be bruised, or if it is bruised, which is fine, you're able to look at it as you asked me for feedback. I gave you feedback. You can take it or not, and then we move on to the next thing. And it's hard to find those friends in your life. I think I've been lucky to have 4 or 5 of them that I really trust, but outside of that,
it's hard.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Let me just show you while we're here. So we're always trying to sell crap.
The funny thing is okay, so for the design of this figure, like we basically turned to one of the few Asian heads that I thought would work, and that is the short round head from a Goonies action figure, played by Oscar award-winning Kihui Chueh, is it, or Kwang?
Fuck it up.
Yeah,
Good job.
I've struggled with that guy's name, but like so yeah, that that's how we did it. Like I kind of felt it was appropriate for it to be as like to fit in with like just the all around bootlegginess of what those figures kind of are. And I think we used a Mace Windu body for
it definitely was. And then painted it blue. James Hakola sort of you can see the bottom, there's some legs sticking out on the original figure, and he basically took the robe and continued it straight down to the floor, which was really cool. And then but the whole figure was just based on a joke that we were just all sitting around, and
so
Ian was talking.
So when I was
you gonna tell the story? Go ahead.
Yeah, so when I was hanging out in at DKE working on the imprisoned figure series, which is the Realize, Resist, and Resign figures, I'm spending hours a day like hanging out, working on these things at DKE and milking Dove for like meals, and eventually. Eventually, like we started like, because my name is Luke, it's a biblical name. It just kind of like the jokes, just started kind of like naturally happening. Like, Luke from the Bible.
We were actually talking about all the Lukes that we knew. And then I walked in the room. I said, "What about Luke from the Bible?" And then Ian and Luke proceeded to just like make fun of me, and they laughed so hard. I mean, it wasn't that funny, but every time they would see each other, they'd just say, "Hey, it's Luke from the Bible," and then it would just I was like, "Oh man, they're making fun of me again." And then so we made Luke from the Bible. This one is based on remember we talked about the story about the mail away Ben Kenobi figure, the clear spirit of, there it is. Janky's got it right there, spotlighted. So that is that version. So both of those are on the site. And then while we're here, let's just show the Forlorn Space Knight.
Yes, the Forlorn Space Knight.
This baby here. Luke was
so that one is literally inspired by a painting I did called I think it was The Force Is Not With Me, which is in Dove's crazy collection of Star Wars related artworks.
I wanted to use that image here because I was like, why not? Let's do that. And he's like, no, I'm going to paint a whole nother painting. And then guess I had to buy that one too.
He knew what he was doing. Yeah, he knew what he was doing.
He's like, sucker. So there are
it's a good thing,
just in case. Okay, done.
It's a great figure. I think it's hilarious. And then I, went in and did some Photoshop magic for the other two in the series.
Ta-da!
So good.
Yeah, the Forlorn Dark Knight, and then coming eventually will be the Forlorn Ghost Knight. So,
Nice.
which will be done in the style of the famous Obi-Wan figure. Janky?
Hopefully for San Diego coming in July.
There you go.
Very excited.
So you could have
On
the
site now.
series.
Well,
And it's like,
thi-
the three, I was gonna say, it's the three primary colors,
it's a-
yellow, red, and blue. So they will look great together.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yep.
Well, I love because I love
Right.
things in series, and you think so well in series. I mean, like you can see in the corner. Here's the resist, resign,
Realize, resist, and resign. Yeah.
and like that is such a transcendent work. Like you're taking your art, you're taking toys, and then you're playing with it in a new form, in a way that combines the two seamlessly. And all of your pieces have done that. And I mean, this one I pulled this off my shelf. This is one of my favorite pieces of all time, which is the prisoner.
Yes.
Yeah, which is it's hard to see. Sorry, my light's blowing it out, but the Vicodin bottle with the bear inside.
Yeah.
I'm still trying
your
to get
toy
a
work
complete
has
set of
always
those.
been so good,
Yeah.
so good.
Oh,
Patrick.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I know. Like, get back to work, Patrick. Stop boxing.
All right, there's just one more thing we have on the site that I just want to show all the Luke Chueh fans out there. Dun, 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 dun.
I love the Gundam movie poster art. I love it. Last time I was in Chicago, like back in 2018, maybe.
Did you actually went to
2018?
Deadly Prey?
Yeah, I went to Deadly
Oh,
Prey.
man.
Oh,
and,
wow.
Like, and I hung out there and like looked at all the sacks that and he has piles and piles of them, and I was
talking about
just
other people's
like blown
sacks,
away. It's gone.
There's actually a Ghanaian movie poster show from Deadly Prey right now at Mark Todd's gallery in Joshua Tree called Hey There
Yeah.
Projects, and they shipped a whole bunch of sacks over there. So if you
I think
wanna
it's
go
like a
see-
grain sack or a flour sack or something
Yeah,
like
I think
that.
they're flour or
And,
wheat sacks. So just
Yeah.
for the explanation here, we have, how many do we have? 2, 4, and maybe 6 of them on our site. They're signed
So
by
great.
Luke and the Ghanaian
Yep.
artist Magasco, and we put a sort of a bootleg version of Luke's figure here, and this is a one-of-a-kind original painting by a Ghanaian artist, Ghanaian movie poster artist. And one of my favorite series, because the way they played with your bear, and
So good.
it's just they're insane.
I wake up every morning and I see like the handful that I have, and
Which
they
one
just
did you
bring
keep?
joy to me. The Darth Vader, the Rocky, trying to think
Are
of
they handy? Can you grab them?
no, they're in my apartment
No.
where I keep the stuff that's important to me.
The
Nice.
prizes, yeah.
You're in your studio right
Yes.
now.
I'm in the studio right now, so
Got it.
I squealed for joy when I saw the Jean-Claude Van Damme, so Emma bought it. Because that's what I do.
yeah, it was that was a great series.
Now it's time for What You Dove Buy. Hey dude, what'd you get?
All right, so let's talk about a few new acquisitions that I got since the last episode. I want to thank everyone who sent get well wishes. We're trying to do the show every week. I think after our 3 conventions, we might end up taking a break a week or 2. We'll see if we can get our act together, but just sort of fell under, as it were, and Janky was like, we can't have an empty week, we need to post something, and so he made a little video which I posted with like the little barfing emoji, and everyone's like, Dove, are you okay? And it's like, no, I just have a cold, and you can hear.
Colds aren't funny, barfing is funny, so I had to use the barfing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I didn't know you were sick. Glad you're doing better, Dove. Okay.
Sorry.
Were you at whatchamacallit, at WonderCon?
I was.
How was it?
Sad.
Yeah.
It was exactly like every other Wondercon.
No, they've
No, it
slowly
was like the
gotten
garage
worse.
sale version of
I
WonderCon.
actually
I don't
went with
know.
I actually went with Scott and Janky, and we walked around, and it is approaching LA Comic Con status. It is
Oh, wow.
getting. It is
Luke is like,
It's-
oh wow,
It
so
just it felt
depressing.
very random and
it's losing
Wow,
its
that
focus.
bad.
It's
Yeah.
depressing walking around. My favorite show, and San Diego is sort of going in that direction. It's not there yet because the only show that we're going to actually do. I still go to the shows. I'm always waiting to walk around and discover something new, but I don't think I didn't buy anything. I wanted this box, this Garbage Pail Kid box. So this guy, so I collect bootleg Garbage Pail Kids, and you can check out my Instagram at bootleg_GPK. And I post all of these GPK references that I find, and they're in cards and comics. And so this guy made this box out of this. What was it? It was a grab bag, right? So he would print these boxes, and inside he would put like comics, and he'd sell the
Random
box, and you
comics,
open it
yeah.
up, and you paid whatever. And they were like $20. And I was like, dude, can I buy one of these? He's like, $20. I'm like, no, I don't want the comics inside. I just want the box. And he's like, huh. I'm like, I thought maybe he'd ask me for $5 or whatever. And it was like a teddy bear dressed as Deadpool. Too many references with the the Garbage Pail Kid theme or whatever. Hey, Ian, can you grab it? It's on the floor of my office. And then the guy was just like, he opened the box, and then he saw there was a good comic in there, right? Because he's making grab bags, and he's like, whoa, this is cool. And he's like, you could just have the box, because for some reason he opened it and pulled out a comic. Even though he made the grab bags, it was a box that had a good comic that he was not going to sell in a box. It was like somehow the profit motive just, whatever happened, and then he gave me the box for free. And
there was a meeting. Like people were like, he just wants to buy the box. And
It was like blowing people's
there was
minds.
like four people that were sitting there talking about it. And the box turned out great. The box
Here it is.
Fantastic.
That's great.
So that was my purchase at WonderCon, and it was free. So, but
You're also getting old, Dove.
I went into
The collector
that.
bug is dying.
I've put a freeze on spending at the conventions and stuff, and I said, you know what? I said I want to go spend some money. I want to go and and then I ended up not buying anything either. All of us were sort of walking around, just going like, what's going on here?
Yeah,
I approach it like the opposite. Like you decided you wanted to go and spend some money. I go to every show and I don't want to spend anything. Right?
That's usually how I go in.
And I wait till I find the thing that is like I can't live without. Like, this is amazing. Oh, I have to have that. And then because what I get at the last one, did I get that Cantina alien flash art, or was that LA Comic Con?
Yes, that was
like
LA.
a $20 print. That was amazing. Like some
It was
tattoo
cool.
artist had flash of all 4 of the Cantina aliens in one print, and it was signed. Whatever, it was $20, and I was like, yes.
Dude.
Like the one. Cool
I went to Japan last month for my birthday, and I went in with all the intentions of using my 2 check-in baggage, allotment for the flight back, and I literally bought nothing. I bought
how?
one figure.
Wow.
I don't know. I turned 50, and I think something died in me.
I turned 50. I realized that life is meaningless.
I literally bought maybe 5 pounds of candy, and that was it. That was it. It's so sad. I don't know what's going on. That's why I'm looking at people who are big collectors, and when I hear that they're walking away with nothing, I'm like, I know how you feel. there's something dead inside of you, and it's okay. It's okay, Dub. It's okay, man. I'm there with you.
Well, speaking of that,
candy.
let me show you guys all the stuff I got this past week.
Yes.
Now it's time for What Did Dub Buy?
Take two.
Hey, dude, what'd you get?
What a segue. All right, so I think Super 7 is just killing it. I try not to buy licensed toys, and they just keep coming out with stuff that is just speaking to me in a way that is like, so they started with their Simpsons line, and they did the Treehouse of Horrors. I think this is their third series of 3 3/4 Simpsons, and it was really smart of them to not start all over and do all the series, you know, all the characters in 3 3/4. They just went straight for these themed series, and I think this is the third one. The back is just
Oh, that's cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
so dope. I'll show you these quickly.
Nice.
Just really a fan of 3 3/4, obviously, and I don't know how I would feel if I had to start doing Simpsons all in 3 3/4 again, but the way they started this out, and I guess I feel the same way about the Muppets, because I never got the Palisades Muppets, which are probably the finest set out there. There is one that I got in a collection recently, because we buy collections in the States and stuff, is our sort of other half of our business. And Palisades made these toys, I don't know, like 20 years ago. And it's a great line. You can see the back. I mean, they made everything. They made them all to scale. They made the play sets. It looks great. But I picked up this Dr. Julius Strangepork. And can you tell me why I kept this one?
Cool.
Because I'm starting to collect references. Like, obviously, we have artists, you know, bootlegs that we collect, like artist-inspired toys. But when I find a toy licensed by Jim Henson, this is before Disney, stealing Star Wars, that's when I think is really fantastic. Can you hand me that?
Well, they did a Star Wars. When Mark Hamill.
There was an episode, that's correct. But
Didn't say that.
I'm saying when there's a product and it's Henson ripping off Star Wars, I think that's fantastic. There's another piece that I got in a collection.
Did they make the Darth Gonzo?
They did. There is a whole
Are you
series.
serious?
Wow.
There is an entire series of Muppet Star Wars. I'll show that on another show. But those are licensed mashups. Right. And that was after Disney owned both, as Disney buys up my entire childhood. After they owned Star Wars and Muppets, they did these mashup figures, and they're fantastic. But this is before that. But can we just talk about this DIY vinyl Stormtrooper? So this is a licensed, you know, product by Lucasfilm, who okayed this very David Bowie like design.
Went right for the Bowie.
Right? So I mean, you know, we're very careful about the designer toys and the pop culture influences on the toys that we sell. I mean, obviously this Luke's figure here has a Star Wars reference to it, but you know, nothing says Star Wars on it, so we're always very careful. But in the back of my mind, the reason I like collecting these things is I always feel like if I ever had to go to court, I'm gonna have this whole collection of stuff showing these companies ripping off other companies. So that's like a whole different level of bootleg.
I learned it from watching you, Dad.
Yeah. So that's my only Palisades Muppet figures. There's probably 100. They made Sweetums like big and all, you know, they're fantastic. But in 3 3/4, I just couldn't resist these.
Those turned out great.
Cool.
Yeah,
There's
the
6 of
detailing on
them.
the figures. Yeah.
And they made the entire band.
Those were the only Palisades one I bought. I had the stage set with Animal and the whole band. Those were the only ones I got, and I was really tempted by these.
Just so good. And then, did you see the Dungeons and Dragons figures? I pre-ordered them, but they're not out yet.
Yeah.
Did you see those, Scott?
Yeah, we looked at
So-
the Avenger.
No, these are the
And,
Super 7
No,
ones.
no. These are the Super 7 ones. They made
Oh,
three.
really? No, I
there's-
haven't seen them.
There's a 3 3/4 inch that demon on the cover of the Dungeon Master Guide.
It's all based on the art
no,
and not the show.
I did
yeah.
see those.
You
No,
did
I
see those.
see those.
And then they
Yeah,
did
yeah.
the 3 3/4 inch Gith Yankee from Fiend
Yes,
Folio, and
the
I
Fiend
lost my
Folio.
mind.
Yeah,
I was
they're
like,
really
holy
good.
shit, what am I gonna
Luke's
do?
like, fucking nerds, what have I stumbled into? My
that-
credibility is shot.
it's great. I think these are
He hates them.
I'm glad that
He's like, you're
not
a
that
nerd for
motivated to-
buying this stuff.
I have plenty of nerdy shit in my fucking my collection. I just
That'll be another
Yeah.
episode where we just look at Luke's nerdy collection.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun episode.
He did.
oh it would be a chaotic episode because
just
there would be nowhere to
Gundams.
sit. Gundams,
How many
giant
Gundams?
Super 19.
How many Gundams do you have?
I don't know.
Are they all put
An
together?
entire room of them. No. I don't have all that. I don't have as much time as I would like, but I have a crazy backlog of like model kits that I want to.
Do you have
to build.
100 of them? How many unbuilt Gundams do you have?
Hundreds.
Wow.
I
With
could
an
probably
S,
sit.
wow.
I could probably sit there for. I have hundreds of kits, hundreds of unbuilt kits.
So when the apocalypse comes and all power is cut, you're just gonna sit there and build Gundams and be
I am
happy until
just
the world
waiting
ends.
for another pandemic. I am just patiently
When the
waiting for
apocalypse
another
comes,
pandemic.
he's gonna be like breaking into his neighbor's house and eating their cat.
No, he's gonna be stealing their glue because he ran out and he can't get the
You don't
spool
need glue.
attached to the Gundam.
It's like,
You don't need glue for Gundam kits.
They snap
Gundam
together?
Kits are snap
Okay.
kits. Yeah, they're
Okay.
snap kits. And I'm also patiently waiting for a great earthquake to just destroy everything so I could start over.
oh man! All right, so you
Best
said
case scenario.
hundreds of unbuilt kits. How many built kits?
Hundreds.
2 or 3. Oh.
Hundreds of built kits and hundreds of
At least
unbuilt
100.
kits. Wow.
Yeah.
And you have them at home or at
It's
the
what I
office?
do when I'm like when I sit at my home. I just sit there and snap these kits together. Detail
they
them a
all
little bit, and then
Unique Gundam characters, or because I don't know that much about Gundam, or you have like duplicates?
some of them are duplicates in scale. So you like have ones that are like say 7 inches, and you have other scales that are like 5 inches. And if I'm really into a particular Gundam universe, I will get both. So just because and a lot of it has a lot to do with the engineering of these things. The engineering and the fitting is insane. Like when you look at like how these things like come off from the runners, and you're kind of like, wow, like there's a lot of thought that goes into the development of these things for balance, for build, and for the finished product.
Don't ever call me a nerd again, dude.
I'm curious how many people are going to go out and start buying Gundams now. Because like, ooh, I want to see how it works with the
watch the review videos. Watch the review videos. That's how I got like hooked on these things, because
Really?
I like the kits that they make. They'll like the more deluxe ones. They'll build essentially like the entire inner mechanics of these things, and then you put the armor on top of it. And
But these have been coming out for how many years? So like decades, right?
1981 was when the first one came
Okay,
out.
so when they were designing these things, this was before computers, right? I mean, they had to like sculpt this stuff. And
Well,
then...
the more modern kits started off in like the 90s.
Still, I mean,
Because they have different like grades of kits, right? They have like a high grade, a master grade, and a perfect grade. And each of these grades are also like designated by a particular scale. So like high grades are 144 scale, master grades are 100 scale, and perfect grades are 160 scale.
I mean, even as a kid playing with a transformer, I did not understand, without a computer, how manually you could sculpt something and envision how it changes into something else.
Right.
And then how you would have to sculpt those pieces in order to, or machine tool them to the point where you could then move them and transform them into something else, and then be able to go back and forth in the design process before you then pull it all apart and then
It's a lot of
injection
math.
mold. Yeah, that's
right. Like you think about like casting
genius
or
level
like
shit, man.
the plastic stuff, and it's usually a combination of plastic and metal parts in order to like make transformers.
Right.
Right.
But they were die
so
they were die cast, so
Some were.
some of them were. The old ones were.
there were die cast pieces and plastic.
Plastic, yeah.
So both are molded. It's just you're putting a different
But like plastic has you have to take into account shrinkage, and stuff. It's insane. It's amazing. Like
now at least I can wrap my head around the idea that someone can design this in a computer and then rotate the stuff. And like Bondi could do that. It's like, and it's like it becomes this and it becomes this. But how'd you do that in 1980, dude? Like you had to be a genius. All right, the last couple things I got this week is I got a box from Killer Bootlegs, and if you know these line of figures that he did, these injection molded turtle style figures, the ones that we have on the site right now have this like crazy card, right? There was a portion of them that were damaged in shipping, and so what he did is he just recarded them on his own card, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
And then he did the same for the GID version.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the one that I have. That's amazing.
That looks great.
Card. Oh, because we have the regular one of this on the site and the regular one of this on the site, but these are the recards that you buy directly from him. Very cool. And then the last thing I got were these pieces from Victory Comics. The artist is named Chance Priest. You know him?
I love that guy. Yes.
Of course you do, because
I'm gonna work with him on something. Yeah.
Because he does these barbarians.
Fucking crazy,
so great.
dude.
And I saw this Darth Vader barbarian that was just so amazing. And I was like, dude,
like thousands of those.
He has like so if you go right now to
Victory Comics LLC.
Victory Comics LLC on Instagram, and you can just see all of his characters. But it was the barbarians that struck me, because there was one post of a Darth Vader barbarian, and it was just this figure. This one's painted a little differently. Someone else bought that other one. You can see it, but it's as if Darth Vader was like in Gladiator, and he was just like ripping someone's head off. Like,
yeah, that guy, he makes comic books that it's called Warriors of the Universe, and and all of those are like everything is handmade.
They're kind of like
design. Yeah, go on.
They're like Gone in movie posters come to life.
Yeah, look at the header card.
It's like a playable version. It's so good.
That's
Yeah,
great.
I love that guy. And he also has another Instagram called Chance's Toy Collection. He's got an amazing collection. He's a really interesting guy. I like him a lot.
That's it for the stuff I got this week. There are 2 new items on the website, though.
On sale now.
Actually books from the UK, and one is this new edition of the Plastic Surgery Handbook by Matt Jones. If you're in England, you can get them at lunatic.com, but if you're in the US, you can get them on our website. And this is all it's the art of clay modeling, silicone split tooling, resin casts, and more. Step-by-step instructions. Shipping from the UK is a little expensive, so when we got a whole box of them, they're priced on our website at $12 each. And for all of you who are interested in making your own resin figures, this is a great start. Includes 7 chapters: design and making, process photos, split tooling, resin casting, supplies. And it's just a step-by-step guide that is like a comic book.
It's like the Understanding Comics version of
resin
toy making.
And there's Matt right there.
Sweet.
It's over
That's
25
fantastic.
pages. And it's like not all of our customers like want to create toys, but a lot of them. So this book teaches you the 1-part tool handbook. This is the 2-part, right? So there was one that came out, I don't know, 10 years ago. But he goes, there's a whole thing about it.
Yeah, the first one was about one-piece molds that you cut open. That's a 2-part mold.
Yeah, this was the previous book, which I don't know if it's in print right now. This is the one. There are digital versions available, I think, on his website, which is plastic with a plastik-surgery.com. Sure, Janky.
Yeah, I talked to that guy. He said that the part 3 book is going to be how to bang your head into the wall after you've mastered everything from book 1 and book 2.
How to question all of your life choices that got you to book 3.
Yeah. Pretty magical. All right, and the last book that we got also from the UK, if you remember the bootleg Bible that we had, Ben Gore from Blue Monday Press created this book called Evergreen Fantasies, which is basically a Simpsons, bootleg Bart Simpsons art show. There are action figures in here by a lot of people that and then a lot of 2D art of great Simpsons art. Let's see if I can find something. Here's Death by Toys, Auto Man.
Nice.
And these are $25. Trying to find another one. Here's Trillionaire Toys Club from the UK.
Sweet. I love those 2
cool.
pieces. Yeah, those are great.
Here's the listing of all the artists that are in the book. Over the decades, it's been on television. The Simpsons has continually inspired artists. This book compiles some of the greatest art inspired by everyone's favorite yellow family in a huge variety of mediums, from claymation to acrylic or needle felting. This book is not only a tribute to the Simpsons, but to artists themselves, their creativity, and the multitudes of ways you can make things inspired by what you love. What's interesting, and I'm not telling you, the kids at home to like go start making Simpsons bootlegs, but when Simpsons was made by Fox, they were licensing was very knowledgeable and understanding about what transformative art was and when it was okay to do stuff. And Ron English told me the story of him doing an album cover for Slash or somebody like that, and then the art director said, like, this has a Simpsons thing, we can't do this. And then Ron English called, or Tarsa, his wife, called licensing at Fox and put them on the phone with the art director at the record label and confirm for them that, yes, we consider this transformative art. Now that they've been bought by Disney, like the rest of my childhood, I don't know what their attitude is, but definitely there was a lot of latitude there. I mean, honestly, I have to commend Disney. They're pretty good. I haven't seen them really go after anybody. We at DKE are very careful about the things that we sell, but there are some artists out there that do some really flagrant shit, and
Disney's building a RICO case.
We've all been blacklisted.
That's why they're so quiet.
Right. They actually do have a blacklist. They don't. I'm not sure if we should talk about this, but they don't actually go after artists. But if they think that you are treading on their turf, they will put you on a list, and you will never work for them. So,
or with them, or on things that they're presenting. Yeah.
Allegedly, but
In
I
theory.
could. The funny thing is, I could go through and find unlicensed references in the work of virtually every artist they've ever worked with. So, and have paintings from some of those artists. So it's, someone was given the mandate, start making this list if you see this stuff, but then I don't know. So Luke Chueh, you're on that fucking list, dude.
There goes your Disney Plus series.
Yeah. See.
Oh no.
Sad Bear the series won't happen now.
All right. Before we go, I have one other funny thing that happened that I just want to talk about because it's hilarious. So we have this figure on our site now by Remakes Plethora. It's called Kindly Deeds Done for Free by Remakes Plethora. It is a what is this? This is an AC/DC Simpsons
AC/DC
mashup here. So I get this email, and apparently the AI that is scanning the internet for stuff thinks that we sell books. And it says, "Hi, my name is whatever the name is, and I'm the CEO of said company. I found your store on Google, which brings up similar ones. I'm reaching out to you because our app, I shouldn't say what the app is. Our app, the AI product description, could be a valuable tool for you. For example, this is the description I have written for Kindly Deeds Done for Free by Remakes Plethora, using our AI engine. Do good deeds without expectation. A plethora of remakes awaits you. Kindly Deeds Done for Free by Remakes Plethora is an uplifting and inspiring collection of heartwarming stories about the power of kindness. This book highlights remarkable acts of selflessness and generosity that have taken place all over the world, reminding us that no act of kindness is too small to make a difference in someone's life. With vivid accounts from both everyday people and celebrities alike, Kindly Deeds Done for Free offers readers a chance to be inspired by humanity's capacity for good." And then here are the bullet points. High quality materials and construction. Broad variety of products to choose from. Tailoring services for the perfect fit. Environmental sustainability, fair trade practices, and charitable giving initiatives built into the company culture.
Wow.
Please feel free to contact me if you have any questions. Best, so-and-so.
Dude, Remakes Plethora has to take that and do something with it.
Got to.
I mean, as soon as I got the email, I sent it to him, and he laughed. Like it was just
amazing.
So it's like to make something with that now.
It's like AI is like scouring the internet to create the email, and then using AI to try and create the content of this email.
He has to do some AI created art. That's like the AC/DC album cover and some Simpsons stuff, and then see whatever the AI.
That would be amazing.
And then put that weird blurb on it.
Good. Luke, what's the AI description of your art show?
I did ask ChatGPT to write me an artist statement, and it was
Did you?
It was spot on. It was like I read it to Dave Bondi, and we were kind of like, wow, like man, they nailed it. And I was just, I mean, it's a little wordy, it's a little bit repetitive, but I mean, I guess that's me. So
even more perfect. Yeah.
Anything from you, Janky? Any comments?
We did have a couple comments. Rainbow Yawn actually commented on the Delicious Again Peter interview, which was a great interview. And he said, "Does Dove never sweat? Gray, the one color I can't wear." And then 6mm Phil said, "Great show, thanks for the DKE live." So got some good feedback. We're always looking for your feedback, so please leave comments. Send us an email at dketoystv@gmail.com, and we will read your snarky comments online.
So for anybody watching, if you place an order at dktoys.com in our store, and just in the notes section, not in the coupon code section. But if you just write DKE Toys TV, or if you just email us afterwards, we will include a free invisible Sucklord figure. It's $20 value. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at DKE Toys. Subscribe to us on YouTube at DKE Toys. And if you're happy with us, go to Google and leave us a review. We love we love good Google reviews, and shitty Google reviews are not appreciated. And please don't.
Yeah, keep it to yourself, loser.
Use an AI chatbot to write it for you, and it'll be much easier.
If you have comments, if you have questions, stuff you want us to read on air for Janky, you can email us at dktoystv@gmail.com, or you can make your snarky comments on YouTube under each episode.
Yeah.
Real quick, too, because it sort of orbits the DKE universe, is the Clutter in Action 11 show went up last weekend, and there are several return DKE people that are in there. I know Seth Relentless made a really great piece for it. Edwin Salas has some pieces. I did a couple pieces for it. So a bunch of DKE people are involved in that show. So if you're interested in that, go check out the Clutter Gallery in Actions 11 show. And
I did pick up a few pieces from the show, and then I did tell Amanda, just because we're on episode 5 and we just couldn't wrap it around, but next year we'd like to have them on the show to promote the In Action show right before
a little preview show. Yeah, that'd be cool
on this show, and have them show off some stuff. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Luke, for taking the time. We really appreciate it. It's nice seeing you.
Thanks for
Janky,
having
Scott. And make sure to tune in next week. Robert Burden will be here.
Awesome.
That'll be awesome.
If you check out what's the interview that's going to be posted
I don't know.
A few days ago.
I don't remember. I think I still have to edit it. I'm supposed to be multiple weeks ahead, and I'm like cutting the episode and the interview at the same time. So it's going to be great, whatever it is.
Whoa! So we hope you tune in. We hope to be here every Tuesday, and new interviews posted every Friday on YouTube at DKE Toys. So thank you again. Oh man!
Nice.